Welcome to Learning with Boys. My name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mom of 4 boys. I have graduated too, and this school year I will have a 7th grader and a 12th grader. So here's my 7th grader. I am getting the books out ready to show you, letting him look through some of them. He is done with school. I'm not really sure he's too interested in looking at these, but I do know he loves to read. He is a World War II buff, so he's sort of breezing through to see if anything has to do with that, which they really don't. But that's okay. I think he'll enjoy his school year as I get ready to show you what he will be studying, which is early American history. Don't worry, I did get him a pile of books that he will enjoy reading over the summer. But let's go ahead and get started and see what my 7th grader picks are. Okay, I am going to go ahead and get started here showing you some curriculum. I do want to say that I feel like things are going to look a little different. I do have some new things. I feel like all of the books, everything I'm going to show you, except maybe a couple things, I have never used with any of my boys before. So I'm excited about sharing this with you. Now, the companies I've used, just not these particular books. I do want to say that I have a 7th grader and I will have a senior. So I always like to do some type of read aloud or book or something with my boys. Over the years, we've always done something together. Even the year my oldest was a senior, we did a read aloud together and it was really good. Even my youngest remembers. But I know time will be limited in a lot of different ways this coming school year. So I feel like, because I feel like no matter what school year it is, for some reason, we seem to have more of that available time that first semester. So I'm going to see what I can fit in with both of them possibly. If not, what I'm about to show you will just be for my 7th grader. But I should be able to do some of it, whether it be morning time or lunchtime or something like that. So, okay, the first book I am going to show you is someone that I personally know. I've known her for a long time, and that's Brittany Brazel. She has written some books. She has other material out for children. She is a podcaster. She is a missionary's wife, a homeschool mama. She's very busy, and the Lord is just really using her in great ways. She has this book out, Great Hymns for Growing Hearts, and I was able to look through it a little bit, and I really would like to do this with my 7th grader, definitely, and I think my high schooler would enjoy it too. I think there are about 15 hymns in here, so we should be able to get this book done that semester. She does have it set up like day 1, day 2, day 3, and I think 5 days, but I have a feeling that because my boys are older, I might be able to just do it in like a 3-day. So that is what I'm hoping, is just to do this 3 days a week with them. And do the 15 hymns. Now, she just informed me that she actually has a book that has 4 Christmas hymns that can be used during the month of December. So I may be getting that also, but I will let you know ahead of time. But I read the first chapter of this, and I'm excited about sharing it with the boys. We enjoy hymns. My son plays the piano, and hopefully might even get him to play some while we go through these hymns. So. All right, another book is from Masterbooks, and if you've seen mine unboxing, you've seen it, Who Am I? Solving the Identity Puzzle. So I'm just going to read through this with them. I have read probably maybe half of it, and I just felt like I would like to share it with them, especially I'm almost thinking more my oldest, but definitely would, at this point, I would like my 7th grader to be listening in too. So I'm going to have that for them. All right, one other book, and I'm thinking about my 7th grader, is Life Skills for Young Men. So I might fit in that maybe once or twice a week. We'll read through this. This is actually by Anne Marion, and I have mentioned this in a video or two in the past. I've done it with my older boys, and just different skills. They talk about personal grooming, manners, cleaning house, cooking food, getting a job, some finances, outdoor grilling, outdoor survival, just things that young men should be aware of. So we're going to do these together. So that is just like an intro right here. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the other curriculum, and let's start with Bible. He will be using Bible Truths, Learning the Life of Christ from BJU. Now this is a much older version. This is a book I already had on my shelf, and my second son used it for his Bible. I can't remember if it was 7th or 8th. They have an Old Testament one, and this would be the New Testament. This is A, and then they have a B, and I think it actually goes all the way through high school. So I don't have the teacher's guide. I don't have any of it. I'm just going to schedule it out. I was looking at it, and it won't even take a whole school year, even if he does it like 3 times a week. So I'm not sure if he'll do it 3 or 4 times a week. And we also will be doing some Bible memory from the history curriculum he is using. They have some Bible memory, and it will be through Hebrews chapter 11. So that will be his Bible, and there is Bible reading, like it has you read the Bible in here also, and then some things for you to read. Okay, let's talk about math. Math, if you watched any of my videos, you know that we are using Matthew C, and this fall my son will finish Zeta. Somehow he has ended up finishing books halfway through the school year, December, January-ish. So, and then after that, it's pre-algebra. I haven't even ordered that yet. So he's probably a tad bit halfway through Zeta. So that is what he will be doing for math. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mention language arts. We are going to be using language lessons for a living education from Masterbooks. This is new to us. He did use it like in 2nd grade partially. So it's this 7th grade is much different than the younger years. So I am excited for him to try this. I will be doing a look through of this and probably some of the other things that we will be using for language arts coming soon. He has been doing Fix-It grammar, and he has not finished it. He is probably like 3/4 of the way. So I'm going to have him finish this up in the fall. Also, he has been using Phonetic Zoo from IEW, and he is on lesson 19. I think there's 35, and this is B. There's A, B, and C, and they're all on the same cards. So I think we'll go ahead and finish this up unless there's a lot of spelling in the language lessons. I'm really not sure. So, but I think I'd like to at least finish B, and if it continues to go well, we will just go on with C. I will mention this also in my language arts video when I do a look through. So, okay. For the rest of the curriculum, which is history and science, I am going to be pulling from Heart of Dakota's Revival to Revolution. Now, one of the reasons I started this channel is to show you all about Heart of Dakota and its curriculum that we enjoy. But through the years, somehow this year, this Revival to Revolution book has been skipped. So I'm very excited for my last son, my 7th grader, to be using this curriculum. It is a box curriculum. It has its own math, its own language arts, history, science, and extras because it is like a Charlotte Mason style curriculum. But majority of the time, we only use it for history. But this school year, we are going to use some of its science, which I will share with you, and a couple of the studies that go along with it. Okay, the teacher, they call it a teacher student guide because I will do an open book video for this history also. So I'm just going to go through the books so you can see what we'll be using. They use spines and they use read alouds like living books, and really the spines can fall into that category also. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what they are. The first one, this is an older guide, but they have always used these books, History Lives, and the one they use in this is Hearts and Hands. Now, the new guide that comes out uses a different book, and I think I'll talk more about that when I do a look through, because I did purchase that book to share with you all, but I want to go through it and have a little bit of idea of how it works. So this is just one of the living books. They use the story of Napoleon, the growth of the British Empire, and George Washington's world. So these would be the living books. I also wanted to mention that along with these spines, I forgot to mention that we will be using this one, the story of the Great Republic, The Story of Western Civilization, Volume 9. We actually use the first volume in Creation to Christ, so I'm excited about this one. Now, they also have notebook pages. I have not even opened them yet. And in here they have like timelines, they have narration that you write. They will have articles that were written by people in history and a few other things. So I will be sharing more about that too. They also use Draw and Write Through History. And this is mostly used through the middle school guides. Two other things that are listed under their spines is a couple CDs. One is Thomas Jefferson, America, the Story of Our Founding Fathers. So, I don't know if you can see that. I have never listened to this. And also Abraham Lincoln and the Heart of America. And they are both by Jim Wise. So, all right. So those would sort of be what we would call the spines, and that would be your bulk of your history. I mean, you could just do this. But they also have read alouds, and that is what I want to share with you next, because that really brings the history to life. And going into 7th grade, I feel like my 12-year-old son now is really understanding that. He is actually a World War II buff, and he said to me the other day, he said, Mom, he said, I think if people could see the history in color, that they would enjoy it more. And I wasn't really sure where he was going with this. And he was explaining, like, when you just read a textbook, how it's in black and white, but if you actually read a story about a person that went through that period in history, this is what he's telling me, that you see it in color. That's how he was explaining it to me. So he loves books about World War II. He actually has a book that he just read about D-Day. Now, it wasn't about a particular person, but he said it would talk about individuals, and it gave such depth and detail, and that he could picture it. It wasn't just like the facts. So I think that's what he loves about reading more than just a textbook. So this curriculum is working really well for him because that's what it's about. It's about living books. So I'm going to go ahead and get started listing these books. Amos, Fortune, Freeman, Songbird, and this is The Mozart Girl, The Secret Wish of Nannerl Mozart, John Paul Jones, The Pirate Patriot. His eyes got big when he seen this one. The Reb and the Redcoats. Marie's Home. Seaman, the Dog Who Explored the West with Lewis and Clark. Now, I will tell you, we have not used this guide, but I did pull a lot of these books out for my second son who loved to read, and he really liked that particular book. So, The Voyage of Patience, Godspeed, Florence Nightingale, Gabriel's Horses, and The Daring Faith, Amy Carmichael. Oh, and George Washington Carver. And there's also another book that got in the mix, Only the Names Remain, The Cherokees and the Trail of Tears. So, all right. So those would be listed in the guide each day of what to read along with the history spines. So I wanted to share that with you. Oh, here is one more. They keep coming. Shipwrecked, The Adventures of a Japanese Boy. So, okay, I almost forgot to mention that Heart of Dakota's upper middle school has geography, which would be, I need to print off that CD there. It sort of looks like these that he has used this past school year. If you are using a new guide and order the geography, this is how it will come now, in a book that will include maps for all of the history, and that is the teacher's, and this would be the student's guide that you fill out in color. I just happened to see these when I went to the homeschool convention. Okay, so a couple of the studies that are in this guide. So this is all listed in here. It's all listed. You've got history. There's a history project. We probably will not do that. Timeline, independent history study, and a couple of the other things that I'm about to share with you is the state study. And I actually just shared a video about this, and it's 50 states under God, and I opened it up, and so I'll link that video below. So we're going to work on that, and it's scheduled in the guide. And then the next one is the signers. This is also scheduled in the guide, and from what I understand, there's also something in the notebook pages to write down about this. So now there is one more other study, and I'm not 100% sure if we're going to do that. I haven't decided, just because they are living books for science, and it's actually an inventor study. But I'm going to share these books with you because I know some of them we are interested in. So we may just do part of it. Not really sure yet. But the Story of Inventions, Michael Faraday, which that would be really good. The American Inventors, Henry Ford, the Wright Brothers, Always Inventing, Alexander Graham Bell. So that is listed in the guide. For the rest of science, let me mention that I have not ordered it. I'm going to go ahead and get Exploration Education. I had my son look at it. I've had my husband look at it. The reason we have really enjoyed Science Shepherd, and we may end up back with that at some point in the near future. But we have a lot of books to read, and I just would like for him to do this because it's a hands-on science. You're watching some videos, there is still some reading, but you get to build and experiment, and he loves to do that kind of stuff anyways. He's always trying to figure out different things, like they'll have a whole electric circuit that he will make, and it'll explain the details. My husband knows a lot about that stuff, so that's why I was having him watch these videos, watch the video to see if he feels like this would be helpful and beneficial, and with the information he will learn. And that there's other things also, like they build like an electric car and just things like that. So I think at this age and what he is really wanting to draw in and know, and he's really wanting to like build things, that I think he will enjoy it. We have never used this curriculum before, but I have mentioned in past videos that I have had my eyes on it for years. I just did not want to spend the money. But a lot of this curriculum, this whole Revival to Revolution curriculum, I was able to borrow from a friend. I am so grateful. And I think a couple other things I have borrowed, or I had. So, and I know with my other boys at this age, they were doing science at a co-op. So I know I was paying money for it then. So I really would like for him to have this opportunity. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I will share that with you when it comes in. Maybe I'll do an unboxing and let him get the video up. I'm really not even 100% sure how it all works, but he definitely liked the idea of being able to build something. All right. I think that's it. I always feel like I'm forgetting something, and I probably am. And another thought too is, and I've said this in my last couple years of videos, that since I'm doing it at the beginning of the summer, there's a big possibility this mind can change by the end of summer. I feel pretty solid on my choices of things to do. All right, I do appreciate you watching. I know this was a little bit long. If you have any questions about anything in particular, please let me know below. I would love to hear if you've used any of this and how you liked it. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe and join us. I will be sharing how things go throughout the school year. I do enjoy doing homeschool content, past and present. So, and if this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. That would encourage me. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you again soon.